Yes, if we're ready, we'll call the meeting of the Planning Commission for July 1st. And first, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Chris, seeing how you're here, we'd like to see you do our Pledge of Allegiance.
I love that. Thank you. Face our flag. Place your right hand above your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could we have roll call, please?
Yes, I will do a roll call, and then so commissioners, when you are called, please say whether you're here. Commissioner Wolf.
Present.
Commissioner Retstead.
Present.
Commissioner Markarian.
Present.
Commissioner Fullens.
Here.
Commissioner Brzee.
Present.
Vice Chair Work.
Here.
And Chair Algauer.
Here. Got a full house. With that, do we have any public comments, Ben?
No public comment slips received for items not on the agenda.
Okay, thank you. Consent agenda?
Just the minutes?
Huh?
Just the minutes, I think.
Yes, the
Okay.
consent agenda just consists of the plan.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from June 17th.
I'll second.
We have a motion second on the minutes.
I will
and
do a roll call for the vote.
Going to do a roll call, that's right, guys. Roll call, keep forgetting. Okay, let's do a roll call.
Commissioner Wolf.
I'll abstain. Was not present for the meeting.
Commissioner Retstead.
Aye.
Commissioner Markarian.
Aye.
Commissioner Fullens. Commissioner Brzee.
Aye.
Vice Chair Work.
Aye.
And Chair Algauer.
Aye. That moves. So then we move to new business.
Yes.
And our first order of business is case number 20-075, the architectural review of a previously recommended case.
Thank you. Before you is case number 20-075. It's the architectural review for case number 17093, Tentative Tract Map 20130. Subdivision is part of the Glen Creek specific plan that was previously approved by the city council. And then this is a subdivision that provides for 144 single-family lots of 7,200 square feet within that Glen Creek specific plan. The tentative map itself was reviewed and recommended for approval by the Plan Commission on November 15, 2017. And then the development agreement between the city and Woodside Homes was reviewed and recommended at the Plan Commission's meeting of June 17, 2020. Now, this project is scheduled for council approval on July 8, 2020. And then as part of the conditions of approval for any kind of development project within the city, Plan Commission approval of architecture is required. And so this package provided tonight is to meet that condition of approval. We do want to note some additional features not shown on the elevations include river rock and knee braces for the craftsman elevation, and then some ornamental iron that will be added to the Spanish style. There was also some modifications to the single-story homes to extend the porches, and so that was distributed to the Plan Commission earlier and reflects kind of the modification of that footprint. And so I'm just going to quickly go through the architecture or the different plans that are provided, and then the color and materials board is also provided for the Plan Commissioners. I believe the prairie style is over here. There's a craftsman, and then there's also a Spanish style, and so they're kind of hanging around there, the smaller board sets. And so this right here on the screen is Plan 1, which is a single-story layout with 1,755 square feet provided as part of that design. Plan 2 is a two-story design that provides a total square footage of 2,149 square feet. Plan 3 is a single-story layout with 2,172 square feet. Plan 4 is another single-story layout with 2,523 square feet. Plan 5 is 2,697 square feet. Has a two-story layout, and then the last plan that's proposed for the subdivision is a two-story layout with 3,080 square feet. As noted previously, there's 3 different architecture styles proposed, including Spanish, Prairie, and Craftsman architecture. And then the detailing and massing for those structures do complement the architecture style that's proposed. Then as part of each style, there's 3 different color layouts that is also included. And then with the reverse layouts between that, there's sufficient variation on the designs for the entire subdivision. And then also worth noting is, as part of the subdivision, there's variable setbacks also proposed. So as those houses are located on the street, they'll kind of jog around on the streetscape, and then with the porches that are added into the single-story layouts, they can also further encroach into that front yard area. So it gives a greater variety of the streetscape design for interest as part of the overall subdivision. And so with that, staff does recommend approval of the architecture, and the applicant team with Woodside Homes is also available to answer any questions. As part of the architecture review packet, went through just quickly, but the floor plans are also included for that, showing the layouts in the rooms. For those, some of them include bonus rooms where they can either be like a 4th bedroom or a loft instead, and so those would be spec'd by the individual homeowners during the sale of those specific units. And so happy to answer any questions, but that concludes my presentation. And then we did receive 1 speaker slip specifically for this item from a member of the public.
With that, anyone have any questions for staff at this time? Okay, would the applicant like to make a presentation?
Hi, I'm Mike Jagels with Woodside Homes. I think Ben provided a wonderful presentation. We just wanted to say that we're really excited about doing this community in Yucaipa. This product that we've shown here is one that we're currently selling right now in another community out in Menifee, but we've made some specific adjustments for Yucaipa, the community of Yucaipa, including the river rocks and the porches that Ben mentioned. We'd be glad to answer any questions that you may have.
Anyone have any questions for the applicant?
I have a question. Other than Menifee, have you made a project like this?
With this product,
Yes, sir.
this product has just been used in Menifee right now. There's one plan in there that we've used in another location in Lake Elsinore that sold really well, but we always try to utilize some plans that sell really well and mix it into another community with new product. The community in Menifee just opened a couple weeks ago. We actually had 90 people show up last weekend, and so they were very interested in the product. And again, we've made specific changes to it for the Yucaipa community.
As far as timeline of when was the first time you built one of these, how long ago is that?
Are you talking about Woodside starting building?
Yes, sir.
We started in 1977.
All right. And this style homes shouldn't have any issues 10, 20, 30 years down the road?
No, correct. And our company is in California in 3 different locations: Sacramento, Fresno, Southern California, Corona. We're in Utah, Arizona, and Nevada.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
He's done. Do you have any public comments?
I'm looking at David. Okay, with that, do we have any public comments, Ben?
There was a slip received by Leola Green.
Thank you. Anyway,
Could you state your name and that for our records, please?
Leola Green, and I'll give the secretary my address if necessary later, okay? I live in North Bench, I can tell you that. I am part of a homeowner. We would love to have them, but unfortunately, you guys are not ready. You guys do not have enough power, and you guys do not have enough water for this city. We have had 4 outages in our area. I am a caregiver of a person that is on oxygen, and now She has 6-hour backups, and these power outages have been 15 hours of waiting for it to come back on. So you guys are not ready. We would love it because, yes, it's big enough. And we like that idea about 2,400 and bigger and all that. But unfortunately, you guys just don't have enough power and water. The other thing that about this is this should be on hold also is the newspaper screwed up. They have this meeting as of next week on the 8th at 3:30 in the afternoon. So this item should be on hold until others that want to say something can say something. This is a beautiful town, and I have been here for 25 years. I have seen all the changes, and unfortunately, that we used to have a good, ecosystem in this place before Chapman Heights. We had better weather. You could stand outside at, say, 80, but you didn't feel it because we had enough cloud covering and everything else in this town. But you guys are just not ready, and it should be on hold, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Ben, any other public comments?
No other public comment slips were received. Do want to just clarify that the tentative tract map and DA are actually scheduled for the city council meeting of July 8th, 2020. So that was the public notice that was in the news mirror. This is just architecture review, which is not a public hearing item. It's just specifically looking at the architecture, so.
All right. Okay, with that, we close public comment. Commissioners. Mr. Wolf, comments?
No comments?
None. Lloyd? Chris?
My only question would have been if there is any changes from the November 15, 2017 approval of the Planning Commission to today, because this is not a new thing, and I want to address this especially to the concern of Mrs. Green as far as notice. One of the things that definitely tugs on the strings of my heart is making sure everyone that wants to be heard is heard. And it appears that there was a process for this that is almost 3 years old, and I want to know if this is any different than what we're doing here today, since 2017.
So I guess quickly, the subdivision itself went through public hearing review process and notification pursuant to state law and the city's code, which does exceed that requirement. This project itself that is proposed before you tonight is just simply the architecture review. That is not a discretionary review process that requires public hearing as part of that. As part of the original Plan Commission review, there was a architecture review package associated with a prior applicant for the project type, and so that was reviewed, but that has not continued on. This is with Woodside Homes, but there's no noticing requirements for architecture review.
So, and then to go back to the point of, in 2017, all the heavy lifting was done, and today all we're looking at is just what these homes are going to look like, right?
That is correct. It's just the architecture or the aesthetic of those individual homes.
All right.
Okay, with that, Kathy, you have anything you need to add? Guess not. Bart?
Just to comment on the impressive nature of the product there. Those look very nice. So nothing, no questions.
Okay. Commissioners, we have a recommendation? A motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we approved item number 2, which is case number 20075.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and second. Ben, could I have a roll call?
Yep. Commissioner Wolf,
Yes.
Commissioner Rettstead,
Yes.
Commissioner Markarian,
Yes.
Commissioner Felenz, Commissioner Brzee,
Yes.
Vice Chair Work,
Yes.
and Chair Algauer.
Yes.
Did we lose Kathy somewhere?
I don't know.
Did we lose Kathy?
She's on the hook, and I'm getting some audio from her phone. I don't know if she's muted on her end. Ask her if she's muted on her end. If I can get a,
I can hear you guys. I can hear you guys just fine.
okay. Kathy, how do you vote on the item number 2?
I vote yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that gives us a unanimous motion. Motion carries. Okay, next item is case number 19074, conditional use permit.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman and Planning Commissioners. Before you is case number 19074. It's a conditional use permit to permit a 16-unit multifamily project consisting of 7 duplex units and 2 individual units. And a minor variance to permit a front yard setback of 22 feet in lieu of 25 feet. And then tentative parcel map number 20221 to subdivide the project from existing single-family residence. Subject property is located at 13009 4th Street. It's an approximately 2.4 acre rectangularly shaped parcel in our city's RM 72C land use district. The area does feature single-family and multifamily units in the vicinity of the site. And then there is currently an existing residence located in the northwest corner of this property. Now, as part of the conditional use permit, it does consist of 16 total units proposed. 7 of those are arranged as a duplex unit, and then 2 individual detached structures at the rear of the property. The project provides a overall land use density of approximately 7.5 dwelling units per acre, and provides 72 total parking spaces within the site. Serviced by a central drive aisle and fire turnaround that's provided to meet the fire department conditions of approval, and then the amenities are provided on site to meet the city's development code, and then a block wall is also proposed as a perimeter fencing for the property outside of the front yard setback. And so just quickly for the commission's reference on the screen is the conditional use permit site plan showing the configuration of the development, including the various duplex units located along here along the north and south sides of the project, the 2 detached units at the rear of the project, and then the existing single-family residence at the front. As part of the project, a minor variance is proposed to do a 22-foot front yard setback in lieu of 25 feet. The setback is to align actually with the existing residence on site, so the front yard setback would effectively be the same as the residence currently on the site, and then a letter of justification is provided to address the minor variance land use findings as well. And then all the units do feature the same type of floor plan, either as a reverse of each other for the duplex units or in this configuration, and provides essentially 1,050 square feet with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, includes an attached 2-car garage, and then all those units feature the same type of layout. Now, as part of it, Tentative Parcel Map 20221 is also proposed, and the intention of this is to subdivide the existing residence from the proposed project. So parcel number 1, which would have the existing house, would be 9,800 square feet, which does exceed the minimum lot size of 7,200 square feet. And then parcel 2, which would include the conditional use permit project, is 94,000 square feet in size. And as part of the package, it's a little hard to see on the renderings on here, unfortunately, is the architectural review. This home design does match other projects that the Simmons built applicant has done on 3rd, 4th, and Avenue H, further south of Wildwood Canyon Road, and so similar architecture design. Color Materials Board is also provided, so each design kind of varies by the roof shape, and then the colors that are used also differ as well to add a little bit more variety. As part of the project review public notice comment, several different comment letters were received on a few different topics. One was confirming if there was going to be a block wall around the project. A 6-foot block wall is proposed. There was a concern about water availability. However, a water service evaluation letter was provided by the water district noting capacity to serve the project. There was some concern about wildlife. However, the area is not designated as a wildlife corridor, and there's no protected habitat located on site. It is surrounded by urban development on all sides. Concerned about fire risk. However, the property is not located with any of the city's fire safety overlays. However, standard conditions of approval from the fire department are included to ensure that those life safety components of the California Fire Code are included. Another concern was about flood risk. However, the site is not located within a drainage channel. designated floodway or within either the 100 or 500-year floodplains as indicated by the FEMA flood zone map and the city's general plan. Some concern about traffic impacts. However, the land use and traffic flow is originally considered as part of the city's general plan. And so this project and the land use district was analyzed within the general plan and its EIR, and all the roadway configurations are ensured to make sure that they work together. And so this project is consistent with it. There was a question whether or not a gated community is proposed. However, no gate is proposed as part of this project. And then finally, there was a comment of, would allowing a multifamily project allow for other multifamily projects? The subject area is located within the city's RM land use district, and so the applicant can submit on any of those properties, either a single-family or multifamily project, and so the approval is if it's consistent with the general plan and development codes and any objective design requirements as part of the city's design guidelines, then that project would be approved pursuant to state law. And so, and then just quickly, some site photos of the property as well, showing the existing layout. So this is, photo on the left shows the at-set, or kind of where the most of the development will occur, and then this kind of shows a little bit snippet of the existing residence that's located on site, and then the development would be further south of that existing residence. And with that, staff does recommend approval of the project. The applicant team is here to answer any questions as well.
Okay, with that, commissioners, have any questions for staff at this time?
Yes, I have a couple questions. Good job for me.
Here's for me.
He knew. Hey, it has 79 parking spots, is that correct? Is that what I saw, 79?
That is correct.
Is that more than or kind of right on scale with what the project needs?
It's actually quite a bit more. They're counting as part of the project and kind of ways to meet some of the development code requirements is they have, obviously, the attached garages provide the required parking for the individual residences, and they are required to provide guest parking spread throughout the site. So that would include all these kind of shared spaces within the drive aisle that would be for guest parking stuff. However, based on the property width, they also have enough space to provide wider driveways for those individual units, and so the spacing of those driveways also get to count towards their parking requirement. So essentially, if you're looking at the site design, the driveway serving directly in front of the garage door would qualify as bonus parking beyond what the development code would actually require.
Now, if somebody's going to park in front of the residence but not in the little cutout, will there still be enough room for emergency services to get through?
Yes, I believe most of the driveways provided are between 22 and 27 feet, which does exceed the minimum depth requirements for
I'm saying park it on the street.
park on the street.
He's asking if you're going to allow parking on the street other than in those cutouts that are for guest parking.
No additional parking would be allowed except within those cutouts. Essentially, the roadway or the drive aisle width is 24 feet, which is the minimum requirement for fire access or two-way ingress and egress. And so in that case, those would be obstructed or not be permitted to parking. So no parking would occur here, but these bulb outs would allow for guest parking.
Okay, and is there, I guess just two more questions. Is there any kind of tot lot that's going in with this location, a playground, something for the kids, a community barbecue area?
Open
Did I
space
miss
area.
that?
Yeah. So there is a recreational area provided behind the existing single-family residence. So this corner here, and they show like a little, picnic area and fire pits.
Okay, do the owners of this property also own the parcel with the single-family residence?
They do, yes.
And they can ensure that they're not gonna have any 290 registrants living inside of this house that's gonna be next to this tot lot? I just want the applicant to know that we're putting this tot lot right next to a single-family house. Just some concerns with that. I'm not saying to change it. I'm just pointing out that fact. The other thing is, does this qualify for the multi-density housing that the state's mandating?
Do you mean affordable?
Affordable housing.
I don't think it has to.
So this project does not include a density bonus agreement to increase the density for affordable housing, so there's no affordability covenant on it. However, these type of projects themselves, based on the market rate rents that are provided, usually fall within our moderate income levels based on the unit size, and so we do get to claim credit for that category, even though there isn't a affordability restriction on that property.
Okay, so for our purposes,
No, because he's not getting any special financing or density bonuses and those kinds of things that we would give to someone who was going to increase the density and then maybe lower the
cost?
cost, rental.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, okay.
not
But back to
necessarily.
Mr. Wolf's comment on those cutouts, we have 2 cutouts, right, on the street?
No, there's more than that.
There's a total of 4 individual cutouts, each of which can fit.
Yeah, on
here's
each side
2
of the
cars.
street, but in between, is there parking if somebody parks on the street in between them?
No, they would not be able to do so.
There were no parking on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the drive aisle would not provide parking because it would be used for the ingress and egress of people, but then the cutouts are wide enough to fit parking along there. So it'd be parallel parking, and they're designed specifically to facilitate that.
I'm curious, I'm going to ask Aaron's question here. I'm curious to know, an emergency vehicle, a fire truck comes down to the end, how do they get out?
So at the edge of the
Did I miss
project is a fire department turnaround, and so that has been designed to meet the city's requirement for our fire truck turnaround.
Okay,
And
sorry.
fire has to
Missed
sign
it.
off on that.
Yeah,
That's
so-
that hammerhead
Yep, so-
turnaround.
Yep, it's called a hammerhead design, and it does meet that specification. And as part of the construction improvements, the fire department would also review to make sure that those dimensions are adequate for navigating their fire trucks through that.
And that is a block wall around that house at the beginning, parcel number 1.
That is correct.
Okay. Any other questions for staff at this time? Okay, would the applicant like to make a,
Hi, my name's Tim Mahoney. I'm representing Simmons Built and developers for this project. And we just like to say the staff thoroughly researched, addressed, and mediated all of the public responses in their report, and we agree with all the staff findings and recommendations in each of those areas of concern. Thank you. If you have any questions for me, you have the answer.
anyone have any questions for the applicant?
No, comment, I appreciate that they're all single-story. I think that's really a good thing for the neighborhood, and that the block wall goes all the way around. That's
Yeah,
we've been struggling with other projects.
yes,
So.
thank you for doing that.
Sure.
Chris, do you have anything?
Okay, thank you,
thank you.
sir.
No problem.
The only thing I wanted to say is, if this is the Mike Novak that I know and I like, I probably should abstain. A good friend of mine involved. I don't want any appearance of impropriety or any of that stuff. So Mike Novak is a good friend of mine. We go way back. So I see his name here. I don't know his level of involvement. I just saw it.
Didn't know you had a friend.
Thank you, Jay.
Okay, with that, do we have any public comments?
No public comment notes were received.
If we had to recuse ourselves,
Okay.
this is a small town.
I know public comments then?
No public
Has he ever
comments.
paid you any money?
No.
Ever worked for him?
Well, no,
He's not a client?
no.
Okay.
And there's no monetary gain, so
right,
I think we're fine with that.
Violation of the
That's a
Brown Act,
good
Chris?
subject. So, just out of curiosity, in the future, so this is not applicable to Mr. Novak, and I don't want to make things.
No.
So I'm an attorney. I don't know how often I can say someone is my client or not in town, and it is a small town. In this case, he's not.
Okay.
But I'm going to abstain from voting on this, so.
Oh, if you feel like you need to, then you can do that.
Oh,
We'll talk about that later.
I did have one quick question. Hello?
Kathy has a question.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious whether these were for sale units or if these are all rentals because they're called apartments.
These are all rental units.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
anyone else have any Okay, so I guess we're commissioners. Any comments, questions?
Can I make a motion? Anybody?
I was just curious when I went down and looked at the property and see Fourth Street, it's not gonna be negatively impacted by this kind of a development, and there's no need to, I mean, some of those streets are,
Well, the question is for me, will there be a stop sign ever put on Wildwood at Fourth? Because it's kind of hard to get out there during certain times of the day.
and yeah, I mean, that's
And there's that curve
ridiculous.
right there, so it's hard to see cars. If you're at Fourth Street and Wildwood, kind of hard to see cars coming from the left. That doesn't, I don't think that really has bearing on this
No, but
project,
the-
but it is something that was mentioned.
But the volume of traffic already, I mean, when I was driving down there to look,
Well,
the volume on Fourth Street was, I
Lloyd,
was
that's,
shocked.
but Lloyd, there's all kinds of stuff going on E and
There's the
Second.
roundabout.
No, on
and,
Second
you
and
know,
Third or whatever
So people
because
can't
of
get
the
across. So Fourth
turnarounds.
is being used as an alternative
Okay.
right now, I think.
So to answer the question, this project is conditioned to complete the street improvements fronting this project. At this point, we don't have, we did do a stop sign warrant analysis for Fourth and Wildwood Canyon Road several years ago. The stop sign was not warranted, and as Commissioner Work mentioned, there is a lot more traffic right now on Fourth Street due to the construction going on Avenue E.
Yeah. I've always avoided that completely. I just always take Third instead of Fourth going across because I didn't want to deal with the no stop sign. But right now,
I'm
it's,
guessing there'll be a continuation of a lot of traffic on Fourth because people don't want to do the turnarounds or the roundabouts on Second and Third. So be prepared for a lot of traffic on Fourth.
And we'll keep an eye on that and evaluate that intersection. If there's a need to do another stop sign warrant analysis, we'll be
Yeah.
sure to do that.
okay.
I have one more comment that I'd like from, and more than likely the applicant's gonna have to answer this. What kind of rent are you guys looking at? Okay. I appreciate this project. I have so many friends in this city, people that I know in this city who are looking for properties, rental properties, and they just can't find them. Not everybody can afford to own a home. We don't have enough rental properties. And the fact that this is a nice complex, a rental property, affordable, you know, it's nice that we're having some of this type of development in the city.
And it won't qualify for Section 8, right? No.
Okay. Can I make a motion?
You may.
Okay. I will make a motion to approve case number 19074 CUP with the minor variance and recommendations A through E as we would direct staff.
Second? Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can I get a roll call, Ben?
I will happily do a roll call. Commissioner Wolf,
Yes?
Commissioner Wetstead,
Yes.
Commissioner Markarian,
I will abstain out of abundance of caution.
Commissioner Fullens,
Yes.
Commissioner Brazee,
Yes.
Vice Chair Work,
Yes.
and Chair Algauer.
Aye. Motion carries with one abstained. Well, this looks almost identical, huh?
Yeah.
Next, we have case number 20-026, a conditional use permit and architectural review, 17-unit multifamily, 7 duplexes, and 3 detached.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought.
go ahead, Travis. Go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. The applicant, Mr. John Nejad, has brought to us item number 4, which is case number 20-026, which is a conditional use permit and architectural review for the proposed 17-unit multifamily project that consists of 7 duplexes and 3 detached units on a vacant residentially zoned parcel located on the west side of 6th Street, which is between 12782 and 12798 6th Street.
The property is a flag-shaped lot located on the west side of 6th Street, which is north of Yucaipa Creek Road and south of Via Barcelona Road. The property size is 1.96 acres and is zoned as multiple residential RM72C. The surrounding uses is single-family residences and 2 mobile home parks to the west and the south. The subject property is located generally behind 3 existing residences and is accessed off of a 24-foot drive aisle off of 6th Street. Housing density for the RM72 land use district allows for 8.7 dwelling units to the acre. The subject property is 1.96 acres in size. Divide that by 8.7, and you end up with 16.86 dwelling units. Pursuant to Development Code Section 87.0320, housing density calculations that result in a fractional units of 50% or greater may be rounded up to the greatest whole number. So 17 total units would be permitted for this project. As mentioned before, there are 7 duplexes that share a common wall, and there will be also 3 detached units. There will be a 24-foot drive aisle to provide access throughout the property with a fire turnaround toward the western end of the property with the hammerhead design. It is proposed as a 2-phase development with the improvements and units 1 through 3, and then 15 through 17 to be completed as phase 1, and then the rest of the units to be completed under phase 2. Parking for the site, there is 44 required parking spaces for this development. 77 spaces are provided. The configuration for those are 2-car garages for each unit, a driveway in front of each unit to satisfy the guest parking, and there is also 9 additional guest spaces that are throughout the development. The subject development does meet all of the required setbacks, 25 feet to the front, 18 feet to the rear, and then because all units are 1 story, it is 10 feet to the side yards. Fencing for the project is proposed to install a 6-foot tall perimeter decorative block wall around the entire development, with the exception of the southern property line that shares with the mobile home park to the south. There's an existing 6-foot tall CMU block wall that will be utilized for that. There will be a community focal point just west of Unit 1 on the southeastern portion of the project, and that will be a community tot lot. There is a landscape retention basin towards the western end of the development, and there are V gutters to the north of the units and to the south of the units, and then also throughout the drive aisle that direct the stormwater flows towards that retention area. The only exception is that there is no V gutter behind Unit 1. All units are to be single-story, and they range in height from 14 feet 4 inches to 17 feet 6 inches. All units are to be 3 bedrooms and range in size from 1,068 square feet to 1,090 square feet. Each unit will have a stucco pop-up that is to the front and to the sides of the units that create to create additional texture to the buildings. There will be 6 distinct looks that are made possible by 3 separate building elevations and 2 different color palettes. Color 1 will feature Santa Fe stucco siding and also flagstone roofing materials. Color 2 will be Trabuco color siding and as well as gray roof materials. This is looking from the street frontage along 6th Street by this gate right here. This is 24 feet wide. This is a view of the overall property. This is the westernmost existing residence that neighbors the site. This is the southern mobile home park with the 6-foot tall block wall that is going to be utilized as part of this development. And then this is a photo of the mobile home park that is to the west of the site. 25 notices were sent to the surrounding property owners within a 300-foot radius, and 1 comment was received. The overall comment was in support of the project, but the comment did request that the developer improve the street frontage along 6th Street. As a condition of approval, the street frontage for the property along 6th Street is required to be improved as a condition of approval. And at this time, staff recommends that the Planning Commission review the conditional use permits and of case number 20-026, and if it's acceptable, approve the project subject to the conditions of approval and recommendations A through D. And then after approving after making your determination on the project, and then close the public hearing, and then the planning commission review the proposed architecture and conceptual landscape design, and if it is acceptable, approve the design. And staff is open for questions.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions for staff at this time?
I have a question. I always have a question. The block wall, it's my understanding it's going to be around this whole entire property.
A new decorative block wall will be around the entire development. The southern property line that's shared with the mobile home park, there is an existing 6-foot-tall CMU block wall that will be utilized. So there will not be a new block wall along the southern property line.
Okay. But there is a block wall next to type B, or
Correct.
number 1.
All the other property lines are going to have a block wall.
Okay, and then is it a vinyl fence that's in between the yards?
Correct.
Okay, and then it's the same, it's kind of the last applicant, parking, is there gonna be parking permitted on the street?
No, that'll be just for the drive aisle. So they have the similar to the last one where they have some guest parking spaces that are kind of cut out throughout the drive aisle, and then the additional guest parking is satisfied through the each driveway.
Okay, and then the retention area, is that something that has to be maintained? And is that done by the city?
The retention area.
Are those retention, are they garden retention wall?
So the retention, it would, in this case, be a landscape detention basin, but it'd be the responsibility of the property owner to maintain.
Okay, and that's the owner of this, are these rentals or to own?
Yes, rentals.
Oh, good.
So will there be a, will there be a resident or an on-site manager for these units, or how? And I failed to ask on the last one too, but on this situation, will there be an on-site resident, an on-site manager?
Not that I'm aware of. Maybe the applicant may have something to add to that, but as far as what's been presented to me, there is no on-site tenant, that like manager tenant.
17 units. 3-20. I think they have to have a left side point. Okay. Any other questions for staff?
My only question would have been the fire truck access. I don't see a turnaround for the fire truck here. It looks like it's just a street. I don't know what this end is going to look like. This is where the mobile home park is, correct?
So onto the western end, there is a fire hammerhead turnaround towards the western end of the development. Right.
All right.
Right here.
I see. All right, thank you.
Any other questions for staff at this time? Okay, was the applicant here? Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is John Nejad. I'm the designer and applicant. Any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Anybody have any questions for the applicant?
The one question you had about the manager,
Yeah, site manager?
yes. Normally, a project like this, I reduce the rent for one of the residents there, and they look over the property and collect the rents and let me know if there's any problems.
What are you looking at for rent?
The rents are about $1,800, $1,700 to $1,800 per month.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anyone else have any questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you, sir. Do we have any public comments?
No public comment slips were received on this particular item.
Thank you, Ben. Okay, so we'll close the public hearing, take it to commissioners for discussion. Any questions? Bart, are you there?
I am, but I have no questions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Kathy, you have any?
Just a comment. I really like the landscaping they've picked for this. I think it looks nice.
Okay.
I was going to make the same comment.
Oh, good.
Yeah, thank you for providing this.
Yeah.
Lloyd, did you want to weigh in on anything?
No, I'm good. Thank
And
you.
the lovely Vanessa, nothing?
Who?
The lovely
Vanessa?
Vanessa.
What the heck?
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
She's
See,
long
I'm used to
gone.
looking at, I
Oh
know.
my God, it's okay. It's all right.
Hi Denise, you want to make a motion?
No, I'm fine here.
Thank you, Denise.
I'd make a motion on item, to accept agenda item number 4, case number 20026, CUP.
I will
I'll
second the
second.
Oh. Kathy.
Okay, we have a motion second. Can we get a roll call?
Yes. Commissioner Wolf,
Yes.
Commissioner Retstead,
Yes.
Commissioner Markarian,
Yes.
Commissioner Falenz,
Yes.
Commissioner Brzee,
Yes.
Vice Chair Work,
Yes.
and Chair Odgawer.
Yes. Thank you, Denise. I'm gonna have to make up for
Just do me
this.
a favor, don't run for president anytime soon.
Okay, it was carried. Thank you. God, I just talked to her yesterday.
It's the lack of protection, he
know.
doesn't have his hat
I'm in
today,
trouble.
so he's all over the place.
It's those, what are they, G5, what is the,
5G?
yeah, the 5G, that's what it is, yeah.
Thank you, dear. Okay. The next item we have is case number 20-048, a special use permit and architectural review.
Thank you. Our planning intern, Jessica, and I will do the presentation.
Whoa.
Did we need to do anything, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but did we need a separate action for their architectural review?
It sounded like from the motion it was all the items listed
Okay,
on that.
all right, great, thank you. I just realized there was a follow-up.
We just try to separate that the architectural review itself isn't a public hearing item, so.
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead, I interrupted.
All right. Thank you, Honorable Chairman. So we have applicant Jerry Savage. His case number is 20-048, and it's a special use permit and an architectural review of a 12-foot tall, 840 square feet detached metal garage to be located in a single-family residential property located at 12530 Oak Court. So this is a general location. It is south of Avenue E. It's east of 14th Street, west of 13th Street. The land use district is single residential, 20,000 square feet minimum. The property lot size is 1.18 acres, and it's improved with a single-family residential and a attached two-car garage. So the site plan, it has an existing single-family residence of 1,801 square feet, and the proposed garage is 840 square feet. And the location of it will be on the northwest corner of the property. The proposed garage fits within the setbacks. It is 63 feet from the north side property line. It's 143 from the south side property line, 72 from the west rear property line, and 102 from the east front property line. So the building elevations, the color is to match the existing residence. The wall and the roof will be a Sahara tan color. The trim will be a coca brown. And the doors, which will be the roll-up door and the walk-in door, will be white. The features of the building will be a horizontal panel, and the roof will be vertical panels. And the height will be 12 feet tall. So this is a site plan, site photos. This is just looking south of Oak Court. We did send out property notice, and no public comments were returned. And so the recommendation is to review the architectural design of the proposed detached metal garage, and if it's acceptable, approve the design subject to the conditional of approval and the recommendations of A through D. Open for staff questions?
So, does anyone have any questions for staff?
I have a question. It's because I haven't been here in a while. Get them all out. Are they running any utilities?
They are not running no utilities on it.
There's no lighting, anything?
I'm sorry?
There's no utilities, no lighting, water, or anything?
Oh, no water, no electric.
Okay.
And this
Anyone
seems
else?
to be pretty consistent with past metal structures, right?
Yeah. Anyone else have any questions for staff?
I just want to clarify on the recommendations under D, it says direct staff to file a notice of exemption. What's the exemption for?
So as part of a discretionary review item, the Plan Commission has to weigh in on the environmental review. And so this project, as identified in the staff report, would be exempt from CEQA review pursuant to 15303. And so as a method to kind of document that, we would file a notice of exemption to go along with that to acknowledge that formally through the clerk of the board that it is exempt from CEQA review.
Got it.
Okay. Then we have no public comments. Our applicant's not here, I understand, so then we move to public comments. None.
And no public comment slips were received for this particular item.
Okay, so we close the public hearing and move to commissioners.
I'll make a motion to approve case number 20048, special use permit and architectural review with recommendations A through D.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion?
We forgot to make the announcement.
I know. Got caught. Okay, can we get a roll call, Ben?
All right, Commissioner Wolf,
Yes.
Commissioner Wetstead,
Yes.
Commissioner Markarian,
Yes.
Commissioner Falens,
Yes.
Commissioner Brzee,
Yes.
Vice Chair Work,
Yes.
and Chair Agauer.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you for that presentation.
You're welcome.
Yeah, great job.
Good job.
Good job. Are you replacing Travis or? No? Oh, well, just thought I'd ask. We can always hope for.
For an upgrade, huh?
Okay, Ben, we have an agenda for our next meeting, or do we have one coming up?
I do not believe we have any items for the second meeting of July, so it will probably be sometime in August will be the next time we meet again.
This is probably a good time for me to just put on the record that I will be out of the country starting July 12th to September 2nd. So and after I come back, I may be quarantined. So I'd like to continue, remoting in either by telephone or maybe Zoom, if that's ever going to be an option.
Okay, well, we will send out those options and go from there.
Perfect, thank you.
I'd like to thank Chris and Mr. Wolf for both attending the meeting today. Appreciate that. Makes it nice, warm, and fuzzy. And Denise, of course, always here.
Vanessa.
Denise.
Denise, also known as.
God dang, man.
I'm gonna make the announcement next time. Please silence your cell phones.
I turned it off.
I liked when we had the team meeting, or no, was it, Google Team, that one? I liked that. Because we could at least see the presentation.
A team meeting?
That's a.
Yeah, I think they call it Team, Google
Yeah.
Team or
Microsoft
something like
Oh,
Team.
that's the,
Microsoft
okay,
Team.
that's the,
Microsoft.
That's the
not Google,
platform.
Microsoft.
got it.
And,
Okay.
and, and for,
Team.
I haven't used that one. I don't-
For someone
haven't.
who's been making telephonic appearances, it's definitely a big difference being present, looking at the slides and
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
It's a whole different experience. So I'd like to get the most out of my time away by being as present as I can be. So if we can have some sort of a setup where we can maybe share screens with someone who's not present, just going forward, COVID or not, it's good to have that option.
So I did want to note, as part of the YouTube presentation, the PowerPoints were also projected onto there, but as we try to do with all the items, we do try to make sure that any theme materials are used, and the PowerPoint is also in the agenda packets as well. So it isn't necessarily new information, but certainly I'd read that as part of the narrative for the presentation. We try to have the pictures go along with it just so it's easy to follow for both members of the Plan Commission, but also certainly those in the public that may not have read the agenda packet before coming to the meetings.
Perfect.
Okay, with that, I guess we're dismissed.